Good evening. Welcome to Saturday Night Cinema. I'm David Taney. Tonight's movie is The Sting, released in 1973 and directed by George Roy Hill. The Sting garnered 10 Academy Award nominations, of which it won 7, the most important being the director. The other 6 categories you've probably never heard of. All movies have extras. In The Sting they're called uncredited actors. Let me introduce you to a few of them. Guy Way was a chubby, menacing figure in many movies. In The Sting, he plays the person who takes Robert Redford's money at the roulette table. Guy Way died in 2009. Byron Morrow was a tall, slim extra who played many well-to-do men. In this movie, he plays Mr. Jameson from Chicago. He died in 2009. Patricia Batcher, yada yada yada, she was the manicurist in The Sting. Now for the credited actors, Demetra Arliss plays Loretta. She pops up all over the movie, and keep an eye out for her. There will be surprises. Demetra Arliss was of Greek ethnicity and spoke Greek fluently, played a lot of characters in mafia movies. Patricia Batcher died in 2012. Jack Kehoe plays the Erie Kid. He is the buddy of Robert Redford, and he has played in movies throughout the 70s, 80s, and 90s, still does work today. You've probably seen him on TV series shows and you didn't even know who he was. The date of his death has not yet been determined. George Roy Hill directed The Sting. George Roy Hill was also the director for Slapshot and Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. He reunited with Robert Redford and Paul Newman for The Sting, and they were both in the Butch Cassidy movie. He said of Redford famously that he was dangerous and should not be loose on the streets. He had holes in his head and should be arrested. George Roy Hill died in 2002. Eileen Brennan plays Billy in the movie The Sting. Eileen Brennan's career started in Broadway in 1959 as Little Miss Sunshine. She reprised the role 4 years later in the unofficial sequel called The Gypsy Student. She still continues to act today and has not died. Robert Shaw plays the Mark in The Sting. He is Doyle Lonigan. Robert Shaw has many movie credits to his name, probably most famous his part of Quint in the movie Jaws. And yes, he did need a bigger boat. He died in 1978. Robert Redford plays Johnny Hooker in The Sting, a young man trying to learn the big con. Robert Redford said of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid that it was the most fun movie he'd ever had fun making. And of The Sting, it's the only movie he has ever watched of himself, because it's the only movie he was satisfied with his role. He is still alive. Finally, we come to Paul Newman. Paul Newman was an entrepreneur, a professional race car driver and owner, an actor, a director, a philanthropist, and he served time in the Navy. Paul Newman is famously married to his second wife, Joanne Woodward, and whether or not it's connected, he did say about marital fidelity, why go out for a hamburger when you have steak at home? The Sting has a lot of surprises in it, so enjoy it and don't expect to get what you're expecting to get.